Welcome back, everyone, to Kirby and the Forgotten Land. In this part, we're going to take on the Beast Pack's final stand. 11
The
stand.
last level in the game!
Yay!
And it's a... what's this? I mean, it's a factory, but for a second I thought, wait a minute, I don't remember him like a moon base or some shit like from this game.
We've gone to space!
Yeah, it's a pretty epic level, I think, the scale of it.
It does kind of
and
look
also the
pretty
length.
moon base-ish, doesn't it?
It's very, I mean, we can see it's very, it seems a bit more technical than the last factory we went to, with like big super lifts and all that.
Well, I mean, this one's probably like some sort of thermal generator. You know, a geo-power factory source. Something.
That's true, yeah.
Geothermal factory. I probably should stop saying factory. It's more of a power plant.
Yeah. All these enemies here. You know, it's been a while since I've listened to the music in this game, but I'm reminding myself that, yeah, I mean, it's Kirby music, it slaps, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I think
something I want to bring up about ice is that I think, like, when you freeze enemies, there's a bit of a homing property, at least for, like, blizzard ice. I think.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, when you hit, like, the, I think your direction does matter a bit, but come at it from vaguely the right direction, it will sort of aim for the right enemy.
Yeah.
You know.
Because I don't think regular Blizzard and Frosty Blizzard had that.
I think it does to an extent, but I could be wrong there.
If it did, then I didn't see it.
It's yeah, the music I think is a game. I think the music is a topic about this game that, at least from what I've heard from other people, compared to other Kirby games recently, is less talked about. But I think most people would still agree, excellent.
I've only really heard about talks, like, when it comes to the music, I've only really heard about DDD's theme, and I think that's it. Because I will say I really like the boss fight music, the ones they have with the Beast Pack. Because I really like the sound of that one, and how like it shows a threat, but it's also like kind of jovial in a way. I really like it.
Right, yeah.
It has that sort of vibe to it that I really like.
I like how it just calls back to sort of like the main theme, or you know, leitmotifs at work.
Oh yeah, like in a previous levels there was like a leitmotif for like New World.
Yeah, I think I recall. Yeah. But yeah, our final challenge here.
Yeah. In this level, you pretty much have to enter a room, take on like a challenge in said room in order to progress with the level.
Right, yeah.
And a lot of them end up being like you using mouthful mode for something. So, in this one, you're using water balloon mouth to clear out the enemies.
Makes use of a lot of mouthful modes this level, Will.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because they want there's like I don't think there's like all that many mouthful modes that Kirby can like walk around and like use the ability of. Some of them are pretty stationary, but like the ones like
like open, basically to open like capsules and doors, basically.
Yeah, like,
we talked about how mouthful modes are set up as the sort of the gimmick of this game a lot. I wonder like when they. Because assumably they're going to make more 3D Kirby games now after this. When they do the next one, I wonder how it will be structured. Will it be similar to Forgotten Lands, or will they try maybe opening up the? Because I think I've said before, I'd love to see a more open 3D Kirby. See what they could do with it. Maybe even make it slightly Metroidvania-ish, like
do you think
Amazing Mirror? But yeah.
Do you think in some way that mouthful mode might live on in terms of like like an upgraded copy ability thing, because I think like in I'm actually not sure. I'm probably just talking out of my butt, but I think like Kirby didn't have like a second stage to his inhale, but starting with Return to Dreamland, he did. Like it would just be stronger.
Ah, now technically, as the stronger inhale, I think actually began with Kirby and the Amazing Mirror.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I believe, if I remember correctly, in that game, if you held B for long enough, you would start doing a much bigger suck, so to speak.
Because I was.
But
actually,
it was made more prominent, I think, in Return to Dreamland, though. Yeah.
My thought process was, if it's not a Return to Dreamland, it's probably like Triple Deluxe with like the Hypernova stuff.
Right.
And I guess I kind of figured that probably that was a result of the stronger inhale, but no, it's like it's not.
It was just the game's gimmick, eh?
But I'm actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm actually wondering if mouthful mode will return in some degree, maybe not in this degree, but like
it's hard to say because up to this point, Kirby gimmicks are kind of, for the most part, one and done.
Well, the reason I say that is because before, Kirby games generally had this kind of design of like you get the copy ability, you use it for a puzzle, and then you solve the puzzle with the ability, and yada yada yada. And it's been like that for years. Mouthful mode probably has a good chance of being used for more puzzle-ish levels, because with mouthful mode, it stretches Kirby to like whatever shape the game demands. So
yeah, that's true.
Maybe it can be used in some regards, maybe on a lesser.
Mind you,
example.
though, the Robobot was pretty awesome, and we've only seen that once, haven't we?
Well, I'm wondering like this is like the Robobot is an external thing that Kirby can use.
To then get copy abilities, which let him do all sorts of different kinds of things.
yeah, but mouthful mode is more direct. This is something that Kirby can do on his own. So
I'm not certain we will see. I mean, I'm not sure. It depends. First of all, like where will it take place? You know, like because there? I don't think mouthful modes, if I would have to guess, would return in the next game, but they'll have some new gimmick or something.
Well, I'm wondering if mouthful mode will allow the developers to like maybe play with Kirby's inhale a little bit, like maybe have him do things that he hasn't done before or since.
Such as
I don't know, maybe just play around with the idea of like Kirby can inhale stuff. Maybe he can like grab like different spittable objects that can like have like different properties. Like maybe he inhales like a giant boulder and it's like a giant sized projectile that he can like spit out, but it takes like twice as long to like take out. Or like maybe he eats a watermelon and starts spitting seeds like a machine gun. I don't know.
That's alteration to the spit though, isn't it? Yeah. Instead of like any particular. That's actually not a bad idea. It's not a gimmick really, I think either. That's just pretty interesting.
It's an evolution to Kirby. What Kirby can do, and I think that's what mouthful mode is. It allows Kirby to do things that he wouldn't do normally, whether it's by himself or with a copy ability. Well, maybe with a copy ability, but the point is, it's something that Kirby can do on his own. And maybe in the future, it will allow the developers to play around with the idea of Kirby's inhale and his and the spit star ability that he can do. So I don't know. Maybe.
I would say it's not likely. likely to return
maybe
mouthful mode.
Maybe not mouthful mode in this game will return, but maybe some aspects of it that are clearly inspired by mouthful mode will make some sort of appearance in the next game. I don't know. All I'm saying is that this
possibly
it's an idea that can expand Kirby's abilities to some regard, even if it's like, you know, even if you have to like.
I think it's just it's exciting more than anything though, because it's like, well, now we're in this era of sort of 3D Kirby, where what is the next step? Like, we've had a remake, obviously. That was what came after this, but
Well,
what's the actual next new step? You know, it's exciting.
They can either do what they're doing now and just like add more copy abilities to the third dimension, or maybe they can like do something with Kirby's base abilities, like I mentioned.
I mean, I'd also like to see if, you know, they make a new 2D game, what they do with that as well.
But yeah, like
because I mean, even though we've got 3D now, I still like I still quite like the 2D.
I'm actually, now that I think about it, like, what if there was like a 2D Kirby that had like a 2D level that was like on the Z-axis, like in Mickey Mania?
What, you mean like Klonoa or something?
No, like a chase level, like in Crash Bandicoot. You know,
I don't know.
Something like that. I don't know.
But hey ho, looky here, we've got a bit of another bookends. We've back in the first level of the game, we had a big old sort of tortoise snappy thingamajig, didn't we?
Yes.
Now we've got one that spits fire.
I think at this point I kind of forgot about it, like completely. So I probably wasn't thinking like, oh, I recognize this guy, or maybe I was, and I just didn't really think about it.
The question is how did he bring that sort of office building inside this giant factory?
With gumption.
Nah.
And I just completely skipped that on that figure. Oh well.
Oh, it's only a figure, innit?
I guess, but it's collectible. You know. I guess I was on that that high of like, okay, the music is getting me to do this. I should probably finish this.
It's really hype, innit?
Oh yeah.
I'd completely forgotten about this level's music, but it's good. It's catchy as hell.
It's good for what it is, you know. It's good.
What it is, I mean, well, I think what it is blooming excellent, but yeah.
I think like I might be like, I don't know. I'm probably not thinking of anything at the moment, because I was thinking like, well, actually, I don't know what I was thinking. Never mind. Scratch that. Forget about it.
Having one of my moments like from earlier, huh?
Yeah.
Struggling of how to word things. Yeah. English is losing its grasp.
Reverting back to monkey.
Very quickly, did we ever touch upon Bandana Waddle Dee? We must have done, like, brief.
No.
Really?
Like, I think we did, but like I think we did in like earlier parts, but I didn't. Yeah. I think we didn't talk much about them because this is not a playthrough that has co-op, because I don't have another person to play co-op.
I'm just thinking we must have briefly touched upon it, but
he basically he functions
like
like
a whole.
Spear. He functions.
Yeah,
like
it's
Spear.
like there's a whole nother copy ability that's just, you know, separated for 3D. Or for copy for the co-op partner.
I think the reason why Spear hasn't come back is because Bandana D has that ability.
Which I'm not sure how I feel about, because it makes I think certainly it makes Bandana Waddle Dee feel less special in that regard, but
or maybe maybe the removal of it is to make Bandana D more special. I don't know.
I know that's what I'm thinking as well, but I still don't know. It's like they could do more Bandana Waddle Dee. I think you're having a real hard one here, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
But yeah, this is one of the last treasure roads here. We have a whole compilation of mouthful modes treasure roads.
I think this is the only one, too. I think
there's another interesting. I think there's another interesting mouthful modes, but No, sorry. So I think there's another interesting treasure road, but in this world. But yeah. So these are our final few treasure roads in this world. We have a whole gauntlet for this one with many of the mouthful modes we've seen throughout the game. Mostly the ones that I think have appeared in other treasure roads.
Yeah.
It's fun.
So it's more of a
Fun
relay
time.
race, and I imagine this time in particular is pretty hard.
I think I remember it being, but mainly because of just how long it was. I think there's a particular section that might have been particularly costing me time. But yeah, it gets tough. It gets tough. It does.
Yeah. But yeah. I was kind of thinking, let's go back on Bandanity. I think because like I when I said that like the removal of Spear might be to make Bandanity more special, the thing is that Hammer is still around, Sword is still Sword in particular is still around, even though Meta Knight and King Dedede are playable. It's in some Kirby games.
Yes.
So, and I think like when they are playable, I think they have like certain moves that are unique only to them.
Yes, they do. Star Allies introduced more of them because before I mean, in like the 3DS games where DDD and Meta Knight are playable in their separate modes, they have other features to make them unique as well. Like King DDD can like actually just fire a whole ass projectile from his hammer in Triple Deluxe, and obviously Meta Knight has the touch screen abilities. But in the multiplayer games, it's Star Allies which added things like DDD's super jump and sliding heads, and Meta Knight got a counter, but yeah, they've had things that make them over time more unique. Whereas
does DDD have like that charge hammer attack, that jet hammer attack from Smash games?
That's only Smash.
Oh. That's
Smash, and I guess you masks DDD if you want to count that in a way.
I guess.
But yeah, no. In terms of actual playable appearances, his hammer attack is identical to Kirby's. More so ever since they made Kirby's hammer flip more identical to the Smash version. But yeah.
I think because of that, like Bandanity doesn't really have anything that, to my knowledge, makes him unique in any way. He just functions like Spear.
Yeah. I mean, they added one attack. They did, yeah.
Oh, what is it?
If you press down B on the ground, he does like a charge. It's actually you can actually pull that charge off in this game. It's his slide attack basically in this game.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, he could do a grounded sort of charge, and if you jump during it, you'll pole vault off your spear.
I think in like characters that are essentially the copy abilities that Kirby can do, I think for them there should be like some sort of attributes that make them more unique or probably more favorable to the copy ability. Maybe like for Bandanity, you can make like his spear a little longer. Or,
I think there are more interesting ways to do it than that, because I think Meta Knight's sword is technically longer, for instance.
Oh, is it? Well, I mean,
yes.
Like the idea, the idea that I have is that, these characters, they have more experience with this ability than Kirby does, so they would probably find some ways to make it better, or to show off their prowess and experience with said ability.
Sure, I think unique attacks would make that more apparent, though. I think it works fine if it's like. I think it works fine for most. For example, the helper characters. So, like in Superstar or Star Allies, when you just throw like make a helper out of an enemy. I think it works if they're just mostly the same as the moveset of the ability. But for like the more distinct characters like DDD and Banana Woody, yeah, I think they should have some more things done, more depth to it.
Or maybe have like some like more depth, some passive ability or something. I don't know. So, something that plays with the general design of the controls in Kirby. Like DDD can inhale, but he can't do the copy ability, so he just has like a more powerful projectile.
Yeah, he can inhale, but not in any of the Kirby games he's playable in. Interestingly.
Oh yeah, like he's just an extension of Hammer. That's right.
Yeah,
oh,
if you could inhale while hammering, that would add an additional bit of uniqueness to his him. Yeah.
And I think
I wonder if they.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just thinking. I wonder if they should have made hammer flip for like the hammer ability. I wonder if they really should have like made it like Smash where you can move and all that, because I guess it's more unique, but in a way it also feels slightly less powerful to me for some reason. And if that's something only DDD could do, first of all that would make sense because he had like the jet hammer first and all that.
Yeah.
But well, that's really it. That's first of all and only of all.
Oh well. I know that in Return to Dreamland, as early as that, Meta Knight had the ability to like use his wings to like pretty much use wing as like a movement ability and to like attack enemies.
He could do that as Nightmare and Dreamland as soon as that, I think.
Oh.
The Game Boy because he was in the Game Boy Advanced remake of Kirby's Adventure, Nightmare and Dreamland. There was instead of the regular EX mode, you would unlock Meta Knight mode, and yeah, I think the wing thing would have started there. Otherwise, in Kirby's Superstar Ultra as well, he's always kind of had a bit of wing via his jump. But in Superstar Ultra at the very least, no, not Superstar Ultra, sorry. In I think in Kirby. Starting from Kirby's Return to Dreamland, though, he also added the Condor dive or the dive bomb, attack. You know when you have wing and you diagonally go like towards the ground and create shockwaves.
I think so.
Yeah, he has a wing attack there. He also obviously has his unique shuttle loop, which is different from wings because it's manual and makes him glide. A thing taken straight from Smash. Although, I wonder with how based, like, with how much obviously Return to Dreamland takes from like the GameCube prototype we've seen, or the GameCube Kirby game we've seen footage of. I wonder if Meta Knight would have at any point been a playable character in that version, and I wonder if like designs for the shuttle loop may have begun before Smash then, and that's how it originated. I'm just speculating there. But yeah,
if anyone knows,
getting done with the Wild Hammer there. I've talked about it already. Bigger, slower hammer.
Pretty much. and I like it to some extent, although the regular swings kind of mess me up a bit.
Yeah, that's the thing. 'Cause you only get two, and also slower. And unlike like the Gigant sword, they're not as big. So to me, it just feels slightly clunky. But we'll be getting, I think, soon into the into some copy abilities we haven't seen yet, or some upgrades we haven't seen yet. But yeah.
Yeah, this is pretty much the point where the treasure roads become more or less like less tutorials and more just general challenges. I think I already brought this up before.
Yes, well, I mean, by now I don't think. I mean, I don't think there's any more sort of tutorial-ish stuff. I think most of that was relegated to the very first sort of like treasure roads for these copy abilities. To be honest with you.
Yeah. But yeah, these are like these are like some pretty good challenging treasure roads. Because I think before they were pretty like it was pretty simple what you had to do, and drills were just for some reason just really hard to do. Because again, the encircling thing is pretty cumbersome.
I think it's fun though when you want to mix things up.
I mean, yeah, it's good. It's good for like if
like
you're,
enemies and like the arenas and the bosses and all that.
Yeah. It's a good powerful move. It's more of the fact that it's not really that well. It's not really that used all that much. I don't think, because by the time of Twin Drill, you're pretty much using the gear as your main attack.
Yeah, it's a bit weak though. I use it as a supplement, but yeah, I can get you. Now, hang on, we've got something to talk about here. The homing bomb. This is the final upgrade of the bomb ability. Now, as you can see, obviously, the obvious boon with this is that homing bomb will, after coming to a standstill, will start to move on its own. It will seek out enemies and start driving towards them. If it doesn't seek any enemies, they'll just start moving on their own. But yeah, the thing, homing bomb's a unique one because it's obviously got a very unique ability for its final upgrade. But it also includes the chain bomb's ability to chain hits together. So if you remember with the chain bomb, the more you have out in the field, they'll chain together, and then once one of them blows up, they'll all explode for a much more powerful explosion, depending on how many are out in the field. And as you can see, the homing bombs can also jump.
Yeah, that's definitely a surprise.
It's a lot more difficult to... Because here's the thing, having a lot of bombs at once, chaining them together and then blowing up is how chain bomb got its damage. It's also how homing bomb is supposed to get its major damage, but it's a lot more difficult when the bombs don't sit still.
I think
because if the bombs run into each other, they will also explode.
I think because in my opinion, I think that bomb is mostly used as more of a precise ability. Like I don't think that bomb has is a very good usage for like big damage, like en masse, like rapidly pressing the fire button to use it. I don't think that's what bomb is used for in most cases.
It's what it is used. So it's how it works in the 2D games. That's basically its main thing, just blasting a bunch of bombs. But besides regular bomb, in this game it's more about setting up, with the upgrades, it's more about setting up the right bombs in the right places and then setting up a chain for the big explosions. And homing bomb, because they don't stay where they are, they'll move around. Because also, not only is it if they run into each other they'll explode, but if they move too far apart from each other, the chain will, I think, disconnect. So it's very hard to build. You have to be very precise if you want to make a big chain with homing bomb. But so there is some merit to still keeping a chain bomb, I think, in that regard.
I think
pretty cool still.
I think in this game, at least for the upgrades for bomb, I think they should have been focused
also
on
the ice ability there. That whole section was about going over the ice, eh?
Yeah, big A for me.
Talked about that bit earlier.
But I think for at least in this game and the upgrades for bomb, I think they should have been focused more on making the ability have a better precision abilities. I don't know, when I've seen bombs and be used, or explosive moves in other games, maybe Infamous, for instance. In that game, you can shoot, you can toss a grenade out, and it'll blow up. But there are upgrades in both games, or all games, where the game has different properties for the grenade. For the good side in Infamous 1, I think the grenade comes with an option to automatically restrain enemies to the ground. when it explodes, and in the evil path, you just have like little micro bombs that explode from it, and explode in their own right to deal more damage and destruction and all that. And in Infamous 2, of course, they're given like fire and ice properties in those games. I think in this game, it would have been better if they had like some sort of, I guess, firecracker sort of idea for a bomb. Like when it explodes,
like a cluster bomb.
Yeah, a cluster
I
bomb.
don't think. I've said before. I don't think the status, like the chain bomb, is a problem. It's the fact that when you make it homing bomb, which I think is also, it would be cool if there was like chain bomb and then homing bomb had some, didn't have the chain property for damage or something. I mean, that might have made it too simplistic, but there is still a reason if to go for chain bomb if you want to build up those chains, because trying to build up chains with the homing bomb can be difficult. I still think they're cool though. I still think they're pretty cool, especially more so than a bunch of other abilities. It's more unique and interesting than of upgrades as well. I think that they're among the more interesting upgrades of the abilities.
I don't know. Like I don't know.
Oh, hello. Before we go out, we've actually got some things to do in Waddle Dee Town.
Yeah, enough about TNT. Let's talk about the mail system, the postal service.
So we've not said a lot about besides like the arena, like the vending machine, the little capsule machine, and the one sort of food serving mini game. We've not talked a lot about Waddle Dee Town, but in Waddle Dee Town you can find a bunch of passwords hidden throughout the town, and you can use them for the Waddle Dee liveries. And when you use them for Waddle Dee liveries, you get presents. You get like a bunch of items.
I'm pretty sure that with the passwords, like I tried going up to like the Coliseum and that one wall where Meta Knight likes to hang out. I thought that for that one, after you beat him for the first time, a password appears on that one. But on the wall below him, but it doesn't. I think you have to have Elflin pointed out for you before, like, you can like select it.
I think Elflin points out the passwords, maybe. Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Currently, we don't have it, so
I don't know if Elflin like is a requirement for the passwords to show up in this place in Waddle Dee Town. I'm not entirely sure.
It might be, because I think Elflin
like
is the one that says, hey, there's something written here. That would be interesting, actually. Besides that first password, I haven't checked out, but yeah. I mean, the thing... So with the Waddle Dee system, yeah, you enter passwords or codes, present codes. There are a bunch hidden throughout the town that will give you access to a few different items, including these star coins. But there are also promotional passwords codes. So, like the Kirby Twitter... showed off a bunch of codes, and also you can get special codes from the demo as well. And they'll give you some. So we got star coins from the first one. Some of these passcodes give a few other goodies that we might see in just a second.
I think most of the time they're just like star coins. Other times they're like health.
We got like 3 whole star stones.
Yeah,
or rare stones.
Sometimes they're rare stones. Sometimes they're like attack buffs or defense buffs or something, health buffs, or sometimes they're just like health items that you can pocket in your non-existent pants.
Yep.
Which I actually haven't really been doing. Like I haven't been going over to the restaurant and getting like the
buffs. Yeah.
The buffs. Yeah.
It's interesting that they have that in this game, but they can be useful if you. There are ways to use them if you want to maybe like speed through an arena faster or something.
Oh yeah, I definitely use the buffs in this game. I think by the time I find out about them, it's like late game. Like I was about to go against the final boss or something like that. But
right, that's it for this part.
Yeah, in the next part we're going to tackle the final boss.
And finish the game.
Finish the game. Yeah, most of it.
The fish game. Alright, see ya.
Shush.